It's fucking well too hot. I'm sweating and everything. Oh.
Do you have a monkey in your pants?
Right folks, how's it going? Absolutely baking hot in this room this evening. Baking hot. And I just realised that I do have a big fan, and I went to get it and I realised, or I remembered I should say, that I took the plug off it for the power supply for the Amiga. Not good, so I'm gonna sweat to death. If you watched one of my recent videos, I think it was where do you game and what on, I mentioned that I got HD Upscaler, that's what we'll call it. The reason I got it at the time was because I'd moved over to primarily gaming on a modern telly for the modern consoles and also for retro side of things. And I thought I'd get an HD Upscaler because it might make the picture look a little bit better. I had said that I thought it looked fine, just standard corrections, and it was alright, but it wasn't perfect, but it was doable, so I thought I'd get an HDMI Upscaler, see what improvement it made, and also the thought behind it was it would give me a much better signal. Go in there, come out the HDMI Upscaler, go to the telly and go to the capture device, and it'll give me a much better picture for capturing as well. But was I wrong or what? So this is what I got, guys. It seems to be one of the most talked about, especially when you watch reviews online. I think maybe Rich from Review Tech USA done one on this. Another chap did as well, can't remember his name, but his videos start like this: figure it out, but without seeing me, if that made sense. But HDMI video converter, Scart stroke HDMI to HDMI 720p 1080p video converter. But on the front of it, it looks bloody good, if that makes sense. The specs of it, you got your power input there, your Scart input there, HDMI input, power like HDMI output, your audio output, which is handy for me for video capturing, because I use headset to record my voice, and I can take that audio output, feed it to the PC, so I can hear the audio output through my headphones while I'm recording my voice at the same time, so the microphone doesn't pick up the TV, if that made sense. Coaxial output, 3 selector switches there, switch between Scart and HD, 720p 1080p, and PAL NTSC, basically 50-60 Hz. So yeah, pretty well spec'd. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? No. First of all, I do have to say I've only actually tried it with composite cables. I've not tried it with an RGB Scart, so the situations might change if I was to do that, if that makes sense. But what I was doing, basically, Scart connector in here like this, and you know what the cables are, red, white, yellow cables into here, and in theory does its magic, upscales it. I was going to feed a signal like the HDMI cable here, have one splitting off to the capture device and one splitting off to the telly, and it would be glorious and upscaled. But there was one massive problem with this for some reason, is I don't know if it's because it's composite and not RGB signal. Maybe it would be a different story if it was an RGB Scart signal, proper RGB Scart signal. Like I said, I don't know if it's something to do with it because it's a composite, and maybe the composite signal is not really that good quality in the first place, compared to an proper RGB Scart signal. But it was, I don't want to say oversaturating the colours, but it was, but not in a way that you could correct it, either through settings on the telly or through a video editing software. It was like massively overblowing the colours. I'll show you what I mean just now.
So first up we have, guys, the upscaled video example, and you can see here the colours are just massively overblown. There's probably some technical term for this, I've got no idea what it is I should say. It's not just a case that they're overly saturated, you just can't even see the detail on the outside of those caterpillars or anything. It's just the detail's lost because the colour is so overblown. And here we have just the straight captured video source, no conversion or anything like that, straight from the machine, and it's so much better, so much clearer. You can actually see the details on the caterpillars and everything. Like I say, I don't know why it does it, but you can see here again, I'll show you, This is the upscaled version. This is basically what it also looked like on the telly, and as I said before, you couldn't correct it with adjusting anything in a video editor. You couldn't correct it by adjusting various settings on a telly. You just seem to lose a lot of detail when you've got a lot of vibrant colour. It just massively overblows the colour. I don't know what the correct technical term is, but it's not nice at all.
So as you can see guys, big difference, and you could see what was going on. It was, I don't know, massively overblowing the colours over, I don't even know how to explain it, but you could see for yourself. It wasn't pleasant to look at. Nothing I could do could adjust the picture settings on the telly, couldn't adjust it to make it any better, couldn't adjust anything in video editing software to make it better either. So I am still going to use it. I was slithering about sending it back because distance selling regulations and all that nonsense. You get time to send stuff back nowadays, luckily. But I was slithering on sending it back, but I found a way that's going to work all right-ish just now. So what I'm doing just now is I'm feeding the Composite Signal into my Elgato capture device, and that goes to the PC, the capture software and whatnot. But the Elgato's got an HDMI out socket on it, and I never realised you could use it today, unless, basically I thought you could only use it if you had the HDMI coming in. It's basically a pass-through that would then go into your telly by HDMI, but I never realised that if you connected composite or component cables up, you can then feed that signal out by HDMI. So what I'm doing is putting the composite feed into the Elgato capture device, taking the feed then from the Elgato by HDMI cable, which basically just outputs it at the same resolution that it's going in, so it's 480i is what it is. And then what I'm doing is feeding it into the HDMI Upscaler, feeding it into the HDMI input, upscaling it to 1080p and feeding it out to the output, and it gives a pretty decent picture. And I had to play with the telly settings still a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's a lot better than what it was, and I'm quite happy with it actually, to be honest with you. Just means it's not going to aid in the video capturing side of things. I'm still basically capturing composite signal and not HDMI, but as you see in the previous clip there, it's a lot better, a lot better. The colours were just crazy. So I don't know what it is, guys. I'm curious. I know a couple of other YouTubers I've seen, particularly in the UK gaming community, they've got things like this, and they said it's really good. Not this exact model, so I'm wondering, is it just this exact model, or is it because I was using composite and not RGB Scart? Maybe, like I said, the composite's a lot lesser quality compared to the RGB Scart. That might be the case, I don't know. But still using it in a sort of workaround fashion, but not as impressed as what I thought it would be out the box, how it was supposed to be used. Plugging composite straight into here, upscaling it to your telly, your capture device, whatever. I thought it would look how it would normally look colour wise anyway, but just maybe a bit clearer picture and whatnot. But no, it majorly fucked with the colours. I'd be curious if anybody knows why, or if that's a common thing with these sort of things, if it's a composite as opposed to RGB Scart feed that you're putting into it. Let me know. Be seriously much appreciated, because yeah, it is what it is. It costs a wee bit of money, but I'm still going to be able to use it at the end of the day. That's it from me, guys. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Curious to hear your thoughts on this, and I will catch you next time.
Do you have a monkey in your pants?